Hey! So, last week we made some basic controls for a ship to move and rotate. Now, we're going to make it shoot. In this video, we'll use my editor extension tool, ProLibrary, as it comes with a PoolManager and some other cool utilities that will help us with this project, keeping the game as performant as possible. First, we need to go to the Asset Store, search for ProLibrary. Here it is. We click on it. We can see here in the descriptions the feature it has and some screenshots as well. Now, after we buy the asset, we will be prompted to download it. As I am the one who made the asset, I don't need to actually buy it, but I have my Unity package right here so you can see what will appear just after you download and import ProLibrary. As you see right here, you'll be prompted to import these three files. Only the DLL actually matters, the other two are documentation files, but be sure to keep them anyway in case you need to know more about how to use ProLibrary. So then we click import and there we have it. And if we now open the README, it says right here where to find the online documentation. As it says here, it is important to use the online documentation instead of the offline one whenever you can. This is because the online documentation can be updated instantly, whereas the offline one requires you to download and re-import a new version. We will get a little sneak peek into how the online documentation looks. So here it is. Explanations about how to import the tool and tons of pages about every class and tool that ProLibrary includes, containing the class methods as most of them a getting started guide, including the PoolManager. And of course, if you have any issue with this tool at all, you can see right here the contact information for support or in my support website as well. So, back to our project. We said we needed a PoolManager, but what is that? The PoolManager facilitates the creation and configuration of an object pool. An object pool is a design pattern that stores a set of objects, bullets in our case, that are ready to use. The client, that's us, of the pool will request an object from the pool and perform operations on the returned object. When the client has finished, it returns the object to the pool rather than destroying it. What this means is we ask our pool manager to give us a bullet whenever we want to shoot, and then instead of destroying the bullet, it returns to the pool with the other bullets ready to be retrieved again. But why do we need to use pool manager? Well, generally, in this case, we will instantiate the bullet every time we want to shoot and destroy it whenever it hits something or stays out of sight, right? Well, you see, instantiating and destroying the game object decreases the performance of the game slightly. It's not much if we destroy and instantiate a couple of game objects, but it is going to really affect it if we are instantiating and destroying lots of wallets, asteroids, special effects, and so on. So we use our pool manager instead to keep the game performance as high as possible. Now, to begin, we need to create an empty game object. The name of the game object is important because we will use it later to access this PoolManager. As this pool is going to manage our bullets, we will rename it to Bullet Pool. And now we add the component PoolManager to it. As we can see, PoolManager has two parameters. Initial quantity, which is the amount of game objects that will initially be created when the game starts, and prefab, the prefab of the game object that will be instantiated, in our case, the bullet prefab. For this example, 5 is good for the initial quantity, so we are just going to let it be like that and we'll focus on the prefab. As you can see, I have it already prepared with nothing more than the bullet material and its collider. So we put this into the prefab field of our PoolManager. Now, we can't just put any prefab in there. It has to be a game object containing a script that inherits from mono behavior and implements iPool object. So we create one. First of all, we make sure that we are importing the pools and measures namespaces. We see that by default, every script inherits from mono behavior, so we only need to implement iPool objects, and when we do, we will be asked to implement its methods. We do that, and we see the methods onAcquire and onDispose. OnAcquire will be called every time the game object is retrieved from the pool. OnDispose will be called every time it is about to be disabled and returned to the pool. But before focusing on that, we'll add some code to make the bullet move. It's not our main focus, so I should go ahead and add it real quick. Okay, so that will make our bullet move successfully. But we don't want it to move to infinity. We want it to be disposed after the bullet is out of sight. To do that, we will check in the update method whether or not it is out of screen with the camera extension that we have thanks to Pro Library. We get the main camera with camera.main, and then we call the extension method isInFob that asks us to give it a game object as a parameter, which is going to be the game object that we want to know if it is on the view screen. So the bullet game object in our case. Now, obviously, we want to know when it is not in the screen, so we add the not operator. And if this happens, we want to dispose the bullet and return it to the pool. We get the pool by its name, bullet pool, and then we tell it to dispose itself. For now, we don't need to use the onAcquire or onDispose methods, but in the future we may put some particles when it's shot or destroyed, sound effects, and so on. If we now hit play, we're going to see that the PoolManager is already working and created 5 bullets at the start of the game. The last thing we need to do is to allow the player to shoot these bullets. So we go to our player script, and in our update method, we're going to listen for our fire key, which is only going to be space for now. So every time we press it, we shoot. And then we want to retrieve a bullet from the bullet pool. For that, we first get the bullet pool by typing PoolManager.getInstance bullet pool and then acquire object, the type of our pool's object, bullet. And now we are asked to give a position and a rotation to instantiate it. So we need to tell it to spawn just in front of our ship. For that, we're going to create a child of our player's game object and call it bullet spawn. We're going to give it an icon so we can see it clearly, and here we have it. So, back to our script. Finally, we pass the spawn position to the pool manager, and as rotation, we pass it our ship's rotation. So bullets are fired looking towards the same direction as the ship. And that should be it. We're going to try it now. As you can see, if we press the space key, we shoot bullets correctly. And take a look at the pool. Every time I press space, one of the bullets in the pool is activated. And when it exits the screen, it is disabled and comes back to the pool, ready to be used again. So there we have it, a fully functional bullet pool manager. Now you can shoot as many bullets as you want. Please be sure to subscribe and follow me on social media if you're interested in being notified whenever the next tutorial is up. Next week, we're going to make the player disappear from one side of the screen and appear in the opposite, just like the original Asteroids game and Pac-Man and so many others. As always, thanks for watching, and links of the project are in the description below. See ya!